Yo, what's going on? It's another 24-hour trades, and we're getting into a little bit of something more interesting. This isn't like specifically for this isn't specifically for anybody. Sorry, I'm just making sure my okay, cool. My auto tune is not on or anything. But this isn't specifically for like anybody. It's mostly for myself, for my mentor, to look at this video. But I'm just going to be running through like a little bit of back testing on this video, trying to just see like the thought process with everything. So it'll be kind of like chopping in and out where I do like the analysis of each daily breakdown. So next time you see me, I'll be explaining some breakdown on this. So anyways, let's get after it. So anyways, straight out the gate, kind of something I noticed here. So we had a little bit of a push down. You see we had a gap here from days before, but we filled that. So anyways, we're this big bullish candle here. We have a lot of like rejection from this upside. So we drew our zone here and a zone at the bottom here because this is the range that I want to play in now for daily. So we're going to go down onto our 4-hour here. So not really like a whole lot of going on here from this 4-hour perspective. We kind of see what we got going on here, making higher highs, higher lows. So we have the potential right now. We're moving pretty bullish. We can see here we kind of created this here. Only thing that I'm noticing, let me see. Yeah, we opened here, closed here. We actually have like a little bit of a gap here from where we close and like where we actually open to. It's like 65 or 60 points gap there. So we could get some continuation back down to kind of fill that area. Anyways, but a little bit more explanation on this. So we can see here, this was our area that we started creating support around here. Here's our push. So we could either have some rejections anywhere around this area. We'll have to go and see what the hourly's doing. But I would expect, something of this nature to get some continuation down. But at least some rejections off this daily since we've had so many wicks off it, even though we're moving bullish. But since we're closer to this upper area, we'd probably be looking at potentially taking some buys at least to there. If not, we're looking at some rejections to fill back in that area here that we haven't touched yet. So coming down onto like this hourly perspective here, we can see that this was our push. We didn't quite get up to this daily level here, but we have some rejections on this zone here, and now we're coming back down. So typically, I would probably be looking off some rejections here to get some continuation back up to the daily, since we were moving kind of bullish on the 4-hour time frame. But instead, what we'll probably end up seeing here is something like this. So now that we've rejected off, I can see something like this bounce off here and then continue down to fill on this little wick area and then get continuation up from there. So that would bounce off and then continue up to potentially hit that daily level. So pretty, let's see, we'll mark that off for the zone that we're at, and then we'll pop down onto the minute and see what we would have here. Okay, so biggest thing here, honestly, this isn't like very big enough range for me to trade off of. Like, well, it's only like 92 points, right? So better for us, I think best is to look for buying opportunities off this area here once we see those rejections. So because we already know price is going to move down, right? But the thing is that where's our best opportunity? We could say like maybe right here. This is like a pretty solid area for. Oops. So let's say we took it here. So there's our area of like interest that we have on like lower time frames. So we'll go ahead and just check and see what the candles are doing here, right? Okay, so this is like a pretty strong bearish candle out, right? So maybe I'll say like we enter right here, down to the area, 50-point stop loss, and then 50 to into break even. Let's see how that would have went. Okay, so right off the bat, there's our 50, right? In this case right here, probably actually would have, so we tapped right here on the 50, but the issue with this is then we would have also taken this next one, and this would have been extended out to you know, our break even here. So we actually would have got broke even right there, and then we can see the continuation that we were actually anticipating. So in this case, price acting weird in this area. So now here's where I want to be for rejections. So you see here, broke below, right? We had two bullish variation here. One tap on this. So normally I'd be looking for two, but whenever it's a wick fill, I think that a one tap is quite enough, or at least it's like filling a gap, because a lot of times it's just wicking to fill that gap and then coming back up in price. So now that we're here, we'll go ahead and see how price would have played out. Okay, so here's our 50, right? There's 50. On that same candle, we're also looking at taking some extending out to 100 points on our stop loss, right? Or I mean our take profit. So there it is. We actually, in this case, let's see. Here we go. In this case here, we actually would have hit our take profit. So with something like this, it's a little, geez, this is actually getting kind of annoying. 30. Okay, cool. So with something like this, we would have smacked to our 100, right? So this right here would have been our 50 area here. Jeez. Or 50 points. I can't even, what is going on? Okay. Anyways, this is kind of messy, but 50 right here, and then our 50% take profit, or 80%. I'm thinking about moving to like 80, but we could do something like this. And then our full take profit would probably be somewhere around this like upper area here, because this is where we're expecting price to continue back up to. So let's say our 50's right there, and then we want price to continue up into onto the next resistance area. So here, 100x, we'll go something like this, and then our take profit is right up here, about 5 points less. We'll just go like 10 points less. This feels comfortable. So like 270, right? Pretty easy. We're now risk free on this right here. So we'd go ahead and let the rest of this run out and see how price would have played. Still have some like play out to go. And boom. Yeah. So we would have got take profit on that. So pretty smooth. Again, so we'd have something like this right here. This is our 80% or 50% take profit. Still undecided on that. Through my last back test, it was like 50%. So something like this. I'll probably just run like over a couple more of these because this video's starting to be pretty like drawn out. But I'm liking how this is going so far. So this is video number 1. This first time stamp is at 9:25. Anyways, but yeah, so we can see here we had an entry. So here it was, excuse me, bullish variation. We filled our gap. We entered here, had a little bit of drawdown, went up, hit our 50% of take profit, and then we continued on for our full range here, which did play out over like the next hour here. So pretty good stuff. anyways, coming on to the next day, March 15th. Still in the same zone on daily, so nothing new to draw up here. Okay, so coming down onto the 4 hour, got a couple different zones drawn up here. This was that initial push that we had here. We can see we came up here, and then these are just like all of our zones, right? These are all the different pushes I'm drawing up, and then we came here, and now we're still here, right? So this is kind of like our area that we're playing around in. It's possible that we get some closures here, and then some continuation down. But if we hold this 4 hour, then we'll get some continuations back up to this area that we just pushed down on. So very important that we keep track of that moving into this 1 hour here to see like kind of how price is playing out. Okay, so this is pretty significant, I would say. So here's a big thing. So popping down onto this hourly here, we can see that we had some issues breaking out of this 4 hour here. But the thing is that we also have created this new area, right? So here we have a strong level of resistance on the hourly, which we've just wicked off of once on the 4 o'clock candle here. And then we also created this area here. So two different things that could happen. Either we'll get some rejections with some continuation down, or I could see the potential for price to break above, reject, and then continue up to that level on the 4 hour there. We have a lot of clear traffic to our left to get that to happen. But ultimately, we're kind of looking like we're in a position to take some sells right now, to be honest. So that's kind of like the main focus on this one. Okay, so coming down onto this lower time frame here, we can see that we've been trending up over this period of time here. And we could possibly see some potential for price to continue to move down. But we'll have to see how price wants to react around this area here. Biggest thing that we're looking at here is we want to see if price is going to hold out or not. So yeah, this is looking pretty bullish, to be honest. We're just waiting for a price to potentially come down here and throw us some opportunity for entry. We'll see if we get any retests. And price just shot off, right? So yeah, there was our 6 o'clock there. Biggest thing, so here's our area for potential rejections here, right? And we want to see what's gonna happen. So pretty bullish behavior. You could potentially take some entries here. Same deal, 50-50 to begin with. See what happens with price. Okay, so right here, this is our area for, let's see, this is our area here, move to break even, right? We want to take this to 100. And honestly, just because of like how price is moving, this one here, I would probably consider just taking like full profits if price were to continue up. But we'll see how it reacts here. Yeah, and we would have got stopped out on something like this. So this is just stopped out at break even. Nothing else. I wouldn't even take any more entries for the day. This is past 7 o'clock here anyways, so just not our time. Most of our strategy is based off rejections, not so much breaks. So we didn't get like a real pullback on that one for like good entries, but it is what it is. Okay, so looking out at this next day here, so what we got, so I kind of drew this up like a little bit different. So we have We actually added in another level here because we did just break above this area here on the daily. So this is kind of signal up for some bullish activity. So we'll be looking to potentially take some buys around this area because it's a pretty strong candle. Hopefully if that we can hold moving into the other time frames. But this was the zone we were playing around before because this was our initial push here. And then we had price continue down to here. So we had zone here, and then now this is our bigger zone here with this range right there. And this is 34,000, and then what is this, around like 32,000. So anyways, this was our push from here. So now we're expecting price to potentially continue up. So anyways, this is our 4 hour. We can see here we have a big strong push to the upside. You know, this is about, what is that, almost 1,000 points, a little over 1,000 points of push here that we've just seen in the last day or so. So we could potentially see some continuation up here. Very, very bullish. We still haven't yet to create any type of support on the 4 hour yet. Other than right here, very, very small. Probably will end up taking that out once we get down onto this 1 hour here just to, for some more detail. But 4 hours moving very bullish. So I'm definitely looking at taking some buys here. Okay, so biggest thing here on this hourly that we're noticing. So there is not really a whole lot going on. We have support here on daily, and we have resistance up here daily as well. There's not really like enough zones strong enough to be drawing up here, other than, I mean, we do have like some potential resistance here, but the biggest focuses are going to be on these two zones. I definitely, you know, we don't know what's going on with like support here, so the only area of interest that I really have in this zone here is to take some rejections off of daily. So not a whole lot going on until we start setting up some structure for us to kind of play around on. Okay, so coming down here onto this 1 minute, moving pretty bullish. Obviously, we have this whole trend here going up, very, 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 very bullish. So we're just going to kind of wait to see what happens around this area. Thinking possibly we can take some like breaks on this because we're around an area that doesn't really have like a whole lot of real support or anything like that. So potentially if we got some breaks below this and like potentially retest in continuation, we could take some sells down to this little 4 hour here. But we'll see how price develops here. So let's go ahead and play this out to see what we got. Okay. Nothing real solid here, just building up more support in this area here. Yeah, I just don't really like that. Yeah, that's more of like what I like to see. So we can see here we kind of breaking down, right? Here's our zone here that we're looking at. We broke out this trend line here. We got price creating this U, failed to break out here, touching on the 50 EMA, 2 wicks. This is a bearish variation. So I could definitely see some continuation down now. We're so close to the daily, we haven't created some like actual legit support. So this would be like the first area really that we're creating like anything. So anyways, this would be more towards like what I'd like to see. Honestly, for this, we probably don't need like so much of like a big stop loss. I'm thinking like 30, maybe like 40 points would be good for this. just because like we don't really know what's going to happen here, and if we get stopped out, I'd rather not have it be something massive. Yeah, and there we go. So stopped out here, 40 points. So anything that I'm even slightly curious about now would be way further away. So yeah, there's the daily. We never even touched it. This pattern right here, I was told to recognize this. Here's this U. But I ignored it because how we rejected off of. But here's this U. Price came down, so almost like a scoop, right? And there's your structure area. And so good buys could have been like once we actually came up and like touched this zone right here, to then continue up after the scoop, because we were moving so bullish. But I figured since we hadn't drawn up any actual resistance yet, this might be like a good area to sell at, but ended up taking a loss here. So okay, cool. So we're on to the next day. Anyways, so I'm back. I'm actually back a couple hours later on this one, but so we started breaking over this area right here on daily. This is the one we're concerned with. Not too many like support zones like right around where we're at right now, so I'm not really too concerned about it. If anything, it would be something like that, because this is the most recent push up that we're seeing here. But again, I'm not really too concerned on that, so we'll bump on to lower time frame. So anyways, bumping down onto this lower time frame, a higher lower time frame, but this is the 4 hour here. Still a really big push. We don't really have like an actual solid pullback zone yet to kind of like analyze for the zone. I just have it right here. This would have been like a previous resistance area on the 4 hour, and then also we kind of retested that here. We had like 2 taps that I could see. We are having some issues trying to break over this daily here. We were thinking about taking some rejection sells off of that on the previous day, but we never reached that area. So it's potential that we could have some continuation downwards, but we did have a really big wick here tapping on that area. So I think this could be it's very strong for sure from the buyers. So there's probably a lot of pressure here to get price continuing upwards. So but it kind of looks like we're reversing off of this. So you see this was a big push. We had some play around here, so we could get that continuation here with some clear traffic up to this next daily area. So we'll bump down onto the 1 hour and see kind of what that's looking like. Okay, so anyways, on this hourly, we can see here price is kind of stuck in this sort of range here. So the biggest thing that we want to see here, we have a lot of clear traffic. I didn't even play it out to the next to see what we were doing here. So actually, kind of what we have here. So now that we have price continuing down, right? I could see 2 different things happening. Either we get some rejections off this hourly for continuations downward to fill here, or potentially we could continue up to this daily to then fill up this hourly here as well. So hourly is looking pretty bearish for the most part, so we'll see what's going on. We're probably not quite ready to break on this daily yet, just because house forming, we have 2 different attempts to break out and breaks back below. So this is what we're looking at, sells for this one. So we're gonna go ahead and play this out and see how price is forming here. It's not forming very solid. Good. Better entry maybe for this one probably would have been on this engulfing candle right here for false breakout. But we kind of want to see like some sort of like variation on these ones here is what I like to see. I'm not really a big fan of like these candle entries right here. But I mean, we're just back testing, so we can kind of see what this would play out like. Because I think typically I'll probably wait for like another retest, but just because we're on this area right here, on this hourly here, we're kind of retesting this zone here. And also something else to notice, so this was a here we are creating like higher lows, or lower lows, higher lows, lower highs, yeah, that's the one. um, Not higher lows, yeah, lower highs. Anyways, but for something like this, so we would have hit 50, right? And then for the short position here, we'd whip this out, and we want it to go, geez, it's so hard to line these next ones up. But we'd have something like this, and then the rest of it we would take to 100 points, break even for stop loss at this point. We'll see if we ever even get there. Honestly, this is moving like pretty sideways, so we could end up getting some retracement back up. But this is our zone, pretty much like the bottom of this wick here that we had play out, and we would have got bashed out break even on that one. So yeah, those are our little break even entry. Honestly, this is like getting pretty close to 7 o'clock, so that we probably wouldn't even have like another opportunity for entries, right? So yeah, it's some awkward style of behavior, but we kind of figured price was going to go up here, just moving really awkward, right? Yeah, and probably get some like continuation to break past that. Yeah, so pretty awkward day here. There's probably some news in the mix, I'm sure, for price to move so choppy like that, especially because like here's the 6:30 open. It's pretty weak, in my opinion. It took a little while to build up to that. Okay, so popping back onto this next daily here, we have the same thing going on. It looks like we're just going to get some bullish pressure continuing on. We got two bullish candles that's playing around above this zone right now. Big thing is this was a pretty major level of structure here. You can see we had many taps in the past that we even had some issues breaking above way back here. So looking into this, I think we're finally starting to break over and potentially get some continuation to this next zone at 35,000. Anyways, so bumping down onto this 4 hour here, we got a couple different things. So this zone right now that we're having some issues trying to break through, it's possible that we could again get some retracement down to this daily. This kind of like we're using that as like our 50% here, between these two areas. So we're about 300 points away from that and 300 points away from that. So yeah, these are two different zones that we're kind of looking at here, for price to potentially continue on to yeah, major structure levels. Yeah, so this is still this kind of thing here, but we don't really have to worry about like this zone down here. It's just this push. So this is our most recent push, right, that we have, and we could possibly get some continuation down to here. It looks like we are having like some pretty significant build up, possibly with some clear traffic here for price to continue down into like one of these two ranges. Or if we break out of this zone, we could continue up, but we'll kind of see what the hourly does. But for 4 hour, looking kind of like we could get some continuation downwards, even though we're moving pretty bullish. So we could potentially look for some like rejection buys on this too. So we kind of want to move in the direction of the flow of traffic with these pullbacks, and kind of get like the pullback up. So maybe we can look towards something like that. Okay. So bumping onto this hourly here. Something I'm kind of noticing. So uh, here's this trend that was just kind of forming here towards the upside. Um, Big thing that we're noticing here. So here's our previous push that we had here upwards. So we're quite a ways away. We'll actually play out these next two candles here to see what we're doing. But you can see we actually broke below, whatever this is here for our structure area. This is kind of this was our push here. Here, let me mark this up. So there's our push. I can definitely see some continuation down onto this daily zone right here. Currently, we're about 150 points away from that, moving into the 4 o'clock candle. So biggest thing that we're seeing here. So you broke below this, right? Oops. So we broke below this zone here with this hourly candle. And we have some clear traffic downwards. So that's telling me that we could potentially have some continuation for sells. But the issue is that we want to tap on one of these zones here. So biggest thing is I only want to take sells if we're rejecting off that 4 hour there, or buys off the daily for continuation back up to this hourly zone here. So yeah, quite a ways away. Might not get an entry on this one, but we'll see what happens once we bump onto this lower time frame. Okay, so we kind of pushed up. This was our 5 o'clock, like way over here, and now we're quite a few bars away. This is right around. This is our 6:30 candle here. So you can see we have 2 wicks, and then our break off candle here. This is sort of like our variation pattern actually that we would be looking for. 50 points for a stop loss, and I could definitely see some movement downward. Biggest thing though is we're gonna have to be careful with this zone here, because this is technically like some more support. So we might secure probably would secure like 100 points here for this one, just because it's kind of like an awkward zone, and we're more locked in on buys. So there we go. We would have got right there pretty quickly off that entry. And let's see here. But I'm starting to notice like I would rather take. So the biggest thing is I would rather take like a with the flow of things. So like if I'm gonna go like extending out my take profit, right? It would be better like if we're moving bullish to extend out my take profit in a bullish direction. So like if we were down here on this daily taking rejection buys, then it's way easier to say like, okay, we're gonna get that movement up here at least to the 4 hour or something like that, and 200 points easy, right? But we don't know for 100% that. I mean, we don't know for 100% either way. But if we got some like rejections up here, we can't say for certain that it's going to use this exactly as our support zone. It could be somewhere like halfway between, right? And then just like continue off, because it's moving very bullish right now, especially for like the last couple days on this. So in these type of situations, especially where we're building up like a lot of support in these areas, it makes sense to just take full profit at 100 points. So, and yeah, we would have got stopped out at break even anyway. So something like this. Wow. Yeah, we're just getting hit big time with these ones. What a mess, right? Very bullish. Fantastic. Probably would have been better, taking buys here, something like that. Yeah, I don't even know. But anyways, yeah, you get the idea. Okay, so anyways, moving to the next day. So no end to this bullish madness. No end to it. Starting to think that like we could do almost more like hourly play around, like especially when you get that 4 hour like right in the middle of where that hourly zone is lying. It can be like, why not just get rid of that, you know? Get rid of that entirely and just focus on like the range that we're actually playing in for like the last couple hours. Makes more sense, I think. So we'll see kind of how that looks out for like the next couple days here and see how that goes. Okay, 4 hour, getting a little bit more selective here. It looks like here's the formation, right? Close was up here, like way just a little bit above this wick here. You know, we didn't quite tap on that. Definitely gonna see some continuation up here for this, because if we zoom in here, it makes it more clear if I just zoom in a little bit. But you can see here this gap so just like 7 points, not huge. Because it does look like we kind of filled on that, but I definitely think we could get some continuation up here. We are still moving pretty bullish overall, even on the 4 hour here, but I'm pretty selective on how I did this range. So here we have the top, very top of the push, very bottom of where it started, right? What I'm looking at here is basically anything in the middle of here is just going to be 1 hour, because I could say like, okay, here's my other 4 hour right here, right? That we could be looking at, but then it's like, okay, what's actually going on in the lower time frame? So that's for that. Well, we're gonna look into the 1 hour on that one. So coming down onto this lower time frame right here. So notice this came down, right? Created this build up. We're breaking out of this, right? Biggest thing on this is I see bullish movement. So 2 different entry areas here. One off this, continue up. Second, I see off this hourly here, continue up. And anything beyond that would be way down here, about 300 points away. And in which case we're wrong on the whole move. So this is kind of what we want. This 155 points here is our move. So let's go ahead and get a little bit specific on what's happening here, right? So we really want to see some rejections off this area. Here's some bullish variation. $50. So actually, I'd probably take this like just a little bit lower, probably like 30 on this one, just in case we need to hit a re-entry on this, because otherwise we're getting pretty close to this next zone right here for continuations. So if we go ahead and play this out, okay, so there you are, 50, right? So smacked 50 right here. The rest is break even. Where we really want to take this to, so we're going here, 100x. I went to 110. So there's the 100, right? And possible continuation up to this zone right here. Really want to fill in this wick, or I mean this gap, right? Is the big thing. I might have to zoom into that a little bit just to make sure we actually tapped. Yeah, so that's our wick area that we really want to hit on for the gap to get filled. Overall TP on something like this would get filled up here. Oops. Just below this. So 37 is the overall, right? So we're gonna take this to like 30 for overall TP. Same thing, stops at break even. So we'll go ahead and see what happens. We would have smacked it. So very important that we see this here. Here it goes, and boom, money. So yeah, Got pretty close to getting break even there, but that's pretty good stuff. Honestly, uh, yeah, feeling better about this now. Uh, but overall, it was we had the chance to go either direction, right? A lot of these trades that we've been taking have been, I would say, like hit or miss. Because this is like our second winning trade. People, most people watching this video are like, "What the fuck?" But if you look, overall percentage wise, I think we took like one loss, one win, and the rest were just what I call duds, which is just getting stopped out at break even. So I think like overall we were up like 3.8%, right, on the account. And then if you add this win in here, you go like I think it's like something, let's see, pull up a calculator because I'm not mathy. So 2% off that, and then we go like 20 times 130. So that was like a 4.6% trade. So for those of you like, oh, it's not that crazy, right? Overall in the account with the lot size that I would be looking to take, that's 3.8 plus 4.6. That's up 8.4% on the account with just 2 trades, right? And with that, we risked very small amount of the trade just because we had another area here that we were looking at. So 30 points was the stop. But yeah, not too shabby. Anyways, but I think that's good for the evening. Probably pick back up on the video again tomorrow in the morning. We'll probably make like another video here for the next day. But yeah, we are. Anyways, sorry. Let me focus. But we'll probably make another video here come tomorrow. Put in, I mean, it seems like it's not like that much. I mean, I know this video is like 42 minutes long. Probably took me like 2 hours to put together or more, just because it's a lot of actual analysis behind just like getting on and like explaining it, because explaining it plus actually figuring out like what I'm gonna do, looking at it too. So it was a lot. We got like, I think there's like 6 trades here, so it's like let's see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 total trades on that back test. But pretty good data collection. I'm liking the way this style of strategy feels. Feels good overall. It will be probably a little bit different to test it out in the live markets, I'm sure, just because we have so many different, that's like a week stretch. It was right there before the next win came around, so probably just strengthening like mentally would be good for these type of style of trades, and realizing that not every single day has to be something super. Not every single day there has to be like really good trades, but I'm sure maybe when we hop on like the rest of this back test, there's probably like some days where there's a lot of like week long of like straight profits. So just getting in a rhythm, finding something like really comfortable is gonna be good. But overall, I think the test feels good. That's a pretty big percentage to be up, like 8.4%. Technically, we only took one loss beyond everything else, and the rest of them were just duds, which is okay. I'd rather just have a 0 day rather than a losing. But overall, we'll see kind of how it goes. And yeah, so thanks for tuning in. Hopefully, you guys learned something. Maybe you can implement some of this into your strategy. I will be uploading some more videos on the specifics of this. I will, gosh, sneaking in on me. I'll be uploading some more specifics on the details of the video, or the details of the strategy. we'll look into this, like I said, tomorrow. Just kind of taking this whole week to back test, and maybe I'll hop into like some demos for live videos later on in the week. But we'll kind of just be solidifying things, checking out, maybe rerun the back test a little bit just to see if, there's like any improvements, kind of go over like the actual back test that we took from this video series as well, and see where we, see if we can make any corrections from like mistakes that were made, or certain days that we don't like trading, do like trading, etc. So, but yeah, so far so good. Liking the start of this, and I'm excited to finish up the rest of this content. So, anyways, tune in for me next time. This 24-hour trades. Deuces.